data team meeting on April 10th with first grade. Thank y'all for allowing me to videotape you, and it will be posted on a YouTube site, but it's private, so it won't be out there. The purpose of today's meeting, I've given everybody an agenda in front of you, a copy of the agenda and a copy of the data team SMART goal worksheet that we'll be completing today. All right, the purpose of the meeting today is to come to consensus on your new SMART goal for student achievement over the next couple of weeks. The first thing on the agenda that we'll go over is just a review of our data team roles and responsibilities. Today, Ms. Howell and I will share the leadership role, the recorder. If Ms. Caldwell, do you mind?
No.
Yes, I'm still doing that, thank you. The timekeeper, Ms. Ivy, if you will just, since we do have limited time, if you'll just kind of keep track of about 5 minutes before y'all need to get your kids, make sure that just chime in for us. Data technician, Ms. Kazora, if you will continue doing that for us. Focus monitor, Ms. Smith, just make sure that we kind of stay on track if we get off any. And we will be using the parking lot over here for any questions that need to be addressed towards the end of the meeting or to be added to the next agenda. All right, number 2 on the agenda, we're going to discuss briefly back to why we're here for our SMART goal. Y'all did some formative assessment with journaling with your students and found that there was a weakness with producing a writing sampling for our how-to with transitional words. So what we'll do is kind of go through a few of the student strengths and weaknesses that we found in this. Caldwell will record those as we go, and we'll kind of come back to them when we're finished. Can anybody say, find a strength that you found with your students so far? Or overall, you said percentage-wise, you felt like about 15% of them could do it, which was pretty low for now, but for a pre-assessment.
Most of them are not using transitional words.
Okay. So the one identified weakness would be the lack of transition. Words.
I like to use the word and.
All right,
Yes.
Overuse of the word and. Okay. Anything else?
A lot of them didn't have solid opening and closing sentences.
All right.
Using capital letters and punctuation.
Okay. Anything else for weaknesses? Because looking at the SMART goal worksheet, the standard that would cover, that focuses on participating in shared research and writing projects, exploring a number of how-to books on a given topic, and use them to write a sequence of instructions. So what about any identified student strengths at this time? Have you seen any strengths based on the journaling activities that you've done?
I mean, as far as my class, most of them now are writing in complete sentences. And the subject verb agreement is better for the majority of them.
And their ideas are on topic.
Yes, they do not very
Go off into a tangent. Okay. Well, based off of the data team training that we've had, if you'll look at the SMART goal worksheet that we have that we are using as our guide, the percentage of first graders scoring proficient or higher in shared research writing will increase from, and we said our baseline is about 15% of the students are able to do it at this time without excessive extra instruction. So now we need to determine, like, after 2 weeks of trying a new instructional strategy, what do you think would be a realistic percentage that you would expect students to be able to be on a proficient level?
Maybe 60.
I was thinking
50 to
50 and 60, y'all want to shoot like 55, kind of in the middle? It would be great if it's higher, but just at this time we're expecting. So from 15 to 55% by the end of 2 weeks, and we'll determine in just a minute what date everyone is going to begin the instructional strategy and which date it will end for a post-test. This will be measured by a post-test writing rubric. And is there a particular writing rubric that you all want to use that you've already determined?
We've got one
Okay,
already
good.
before.
Okay, so we've already got that. Great, so we'll just use that. Who will be responsible for getting that to everybody? Does everybody already have a copy of it?
We'll rezone it.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
rezone,
use that.
okay. All right, so we need to determine the date and the strategy. Who has an idea, or have y'all already discussed a strategy that you want to use, something to implement for the 2 weeks to help the students with the sequencing?
Well, we've talked about using graphic organizer. So it would be like, actually says first, next, last,
Okay,
that they could fill in prior to actually writing their sample on
Okay.
paper.
so the selected strategy is going to be a sequencing graphic organizer that each student will do. Will you use the same graphic organizer for the 2 weeks, or vary it, or will all be pretty much the same? Like in the past when we've used the hamburger organizer.
Right,
everybody
we've
used the
usually
open
used the
one.
same one, when we've used the
Yeah.
opinion writing, we've used the
Okay.
same one, so we can use the same one if everybody agrees to do that.
Okay, that sounds good.
And we can also use the pocket charts and sentence strips to
Right.
do some sequence
Okay.
and
Complete that activity together first.
Okay.
For modeling.
All right, very good. So the modeling as well.
And also actually sharing a lot of the how-to books.
Okay.
The nonfiction how-to books.
Does everybody have enough of those, each class, or do you have some that you'll just
Miss
share?
Cheney, the library's real good about
Okay.
pulling for us.
Or getting the resources.
Get the
For
resources.
the
Okay.
media specialists.
All right, so, this is Wednesday. What date do you think that y'all will start implementing this?
Probably Monday.
Next
We're in the
Monday.
process of doing lesson plans for next
Okay.
week.
So if you do it all next week, the week of the 15th and the week of the 22nd, what day, so we're looking at like the week of the 29th, 30th, for your 2-week post-test. Do you want to pick like maybe the Tuesday instead of a Monday?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll put the date for the post-test writing activity will be Tuesday, April 30th. So what type of story starter, or how are you going to consistently, do you want to come up with one topic that everybody uses, like how to blank?
That'd be easier.
Yeah.
All right, can y'all think of something that you think would be
How to make a
simplistic?
sandwich.
Okay.
That would be good, to have them make a sandwich, because they can choose, they can still have their choice of.
Like a variety of what's on it, but still steps to, but the overall beginning question needs to be consistently, I
Yeah,
would think the same.
I would like to though, let them brainstorm some different topics, because you may have a kid that's really got a burning desire to write on one particular thing.
That's true.
you know.
That's true. Well, as long as you have the rubric to go by, I
Right.
mean, you're still gonna be able to, you'll have the same rubric to judge the paper,
Mhm.
even if it's
It'll
not
fit
all the
regardless
same
of the
topic,
topic,
as long
yeah.
as it's a how-to.
Maybe like narrow it down to 2 or 3 that they can choose
Choose
one
one.
from.
Okay.
That would be good, yeah.
Okay. When are y'all all going to try to do the brainstorming thing at the same, like all of you, each class do their own brainstorming?
Yeah.
I think that would work
Okay.
best.
All right. That sounds good. All right, so we'll do the, y'all will do that on the 30th. And do you all want to get together to look at, to grade the student work together? Or just where there's consistency?